Welcome back to Recap Central. Today I'm going to explain a science fiction movie called Prometheus. A humanoid creature drinks a dark liquid. His body starts disintegrating and he falls down a waterfall. In 2089, Elizabeth and Charlie are exploring a cave when they come across an ancient star map. They think it's an invitation from humanity's creators that they call engineers. The crew is in cryo-sleep aboard a huge ship. An android named David monitors the trip. After 2 years, the ship stops and informs them they have reached their destination. The mission director Meredith awakens. She orders David to awaken the whole crew. They are shown a video presentation. Peter Whalen, the man that founded their trip aboard the Prometheus ship, to find the engineers. The archaeologists explain that cultures around the world worship giant creatures and point to the stars. Searching for those stars, they found the planet they are on. The Prometheus lands near a big artificial structure. With 6 hours of daylight left, the team suits up. And they go inside to explore. Mr. Fifield uses his drones to map the whole structure. They continue to explore and find a room with breathable air. As something is generating an atmosphere, David discovers a weird green slime. He presses a sequence of buttons on the wall, activating a hologram that shows the engineers in spacesuit running from something. One of them falls in front of a door and David finds his body still there. The carbon reader indicates the body has been there for more than 2,000 years. David manages to open the door, and they discover a room full of vases containing black liquid. Suddenly the control unit detects a sandstorm and the survey team has to fall back. They bring the engineer head in one of the vases. The team manages to open the helmet of the engineer head, and they shock it back to life temporarily. But it suddenly explodes into pieces. Elizabeth analyzes the DNA and discovers it is identical to human DNA. David inspects the vase and finds the black liquid. He intentionally infects Holloway with the liquid by giving him a champagne glass with the liquid. Unaware with what is in his body, Holloway has sex with Elizabeth. Fifield and Milburn, who are still in the cave, continue exploring. They come across a pile of engineer bodies. Suddenly the control unit detects a life form from the east. But it disappears, claiming it is a glitch. They decide to head west and enter the base room. They see something swimming in the black liquid. Suddenly a snake-like creature comes up. The creature attacks Milburn. Fifield tries his best to help him, but the creature enters his suit and kills him. It also sprays a corrosive liquid on Fifield's helmet that burns his face and kills him. The next day the crew returns to the structure. David stops and goes a different direction. He discovers a room that contains an engineer kept in stasis. David presses some buttons, causing a chair to display the engineer's hologram. The engineers is playing a flute and suddenly a giant map appears, highlighting Earth as the next destination. On the other side, the crew finally finds Milburn's corpse. But Holloway keeps getting worse due to the black liquid. So the team rushes back to the Prometheus. Vickers is waiting for them and she won't allow Holloway in. When he comes close, she burns him to death with a flamethrower. On the ship, Elizabeth is examined by David, and they find out she is 3 months pregnant. Elizabeth feels something is wrong and wants to take it out immediately, but David suggests placing her in stasis until they return to Earth. When they are going to put her to sleep, she fights the crew and manages to run away. She performs a self-surgery on the med pod. Surprisingly, an alien creature is pulled out of her. She manages to escape the pod and locks the creature in. The control unit detects Fifield standing outside the ship. He is now much stronger and he attacks the crew. They finally manage to kill him by burning him with the flamethrower. Elizabeth finds out Wyland is still alive and he was on the ship all the time. He explains that meeting the engineers could help him cheat death. Elizabeth tells him they should leave as the engineers are not what he thinks and they kill people. He refuses as they have been so close to meeting them and this is their chance. Elizabeth suits up and meets Yannick. He explains this planet is not the engineers' home, but a military base that lost control of their biological weapon, the black liquid. Vicker warns Wyland that if he goes to the structure he will die. It is revealed the old man is her father. They return to the structure and enter a room full of vases. The control room discovers the room is actually a spaceship. David reveals the engineers were heading to Earth to destroy humanity. Because to create sometimes you must destroy. They awaken the surviving engineer. David explains what Wyland wants, but the engineer decapitates David and kills Wyland and the team. Elizabeth manages to escape. The engineers touches a green sphere and activates the ship. And sets the course for Earth to finish his mission of destroying humanity. Elizabeth urges Yannick to stop the ship at any cost. He manages to stop the ship by crushing into it with the Prometheus, killing himself and the rest of the crew. Only Vickers manages to survive by ejecting in an escape pod. But as the ship collapses it rolls, crushing Vickers. Barely alive, Elizabeth returns to the Prometheus and finds the alien that was inside her. That has grown to a huge size. Luckily it is still trapped in the medical bay. Shockingly, David is still alive and warns her the engineer is still alive and is coming for her. Moments later the engineer opens the door and attacks her. But she manages to open the med bay, unleashing the alien. The engineer struggles, but the alien thrusts a ovipositor down his throat, killing him. David begs for Elizabeth's help and tells her there is another ship and he could fly it. Desperate and without another option, Elizabeth recovers David's head and body. They fly the ship, but they aren't headed to Earth but the engineer's home planet, hoping to find why they created humanity only to attempt to destroy it later. Bonus explanation. The black liquid is a bioweapon the engineers created to destroy planets, especially Earth. It was kept in vases due to its unstable nature. We also see the creatures infect the host, making them stronger.